breaking point with this latest COVID surge. Dr. Reginald Brown is head of the emergency department at Doctors Hospital Atlanta in Prince George's County. He says as the hospital nears capacity, he's also losing staff to positive tests. With 70% of patients unvaccinated, the hospital president says don't come to the ER unless it's a major emergency.
Contact your primary care physician, go to a test site, only come to our emergency department if you're really very sick.
We're here to take care of patients with MIs, heart attacks, strokes. If you have mild or asymptomatic, this is not the place to just come and get a COVID test.
Now, they also say that people need to get back in the habit of always wearing a face mask when out in public, practice social distancing, and frequently washing your hands. Well, a record number of new COVID cases, more than 400,000 cases were reported yesterday across the U.S., the most ever in one day. Our country is averaging more than 240,000 new cases a day over the last week. The CDC expects as many as 44,000 additional deaths in the coming weeks. Deborah Alfaro reports for WJZ from the White House.
Just a day after U.S. COVID cases hit the highest one-day total of more than 400,000, the CDC is defending its decision to slash the recommended isolation period for those who test positive from 10 days to 5.
We are standing on the shoulders of 2 years of science. We know that after 5 days, people are much less likely to transmit the virus, and that masking further reduces that risk.
CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky is also answering critics who've called for a negative COVID test requirement at the end of isolation.
We know a PCR test would not be viable because that PCR can stay positive for up to 12 weeks.
The FDA warns at-home rapid antigen tests may be less effective at detecting the more transmissible Omicron variant, though it still says people can use them. Federal testing sites are popping up in several states to meet increased demand. The Biden administration is sending medical personnel and equipment to hard-hit areas, and they're also urging all Americans to get the vaccine or a booster shot if eligible. Plans are underway for a smaller crowd at New York's New Year's Eve ball drop, while some cities such as Atlanta and San Francisco are canceling public New Year's Eve events. Here in Washington, the Smithsonian announced it will close several museums until January 3rd due to the increase in infections among staff. Deborah Alfaro, CBS News, the White House.
All right, flight disruptions, they're up worldwide. So FlightAware says more than 2,000 flights are canceled today globally. More than 700 are U.S.-based flights. Bad weather and an ongoing uptick in coronavirus cases is denting those staffing levels. The domestic cancellations are lower than the start of the week, but the disruption is leaving holiday travelers stranded. New data shows food prices are expected to climb 5% in the first half of next year. Analysts say prices for just about